Hello, everyone, and welcome to this new and exciting podcast organized by Samadhan Life Sciences. Lately, I've been getting a lot of questions related to the mixed scholarship that has been recently announced, and the last date is also quite close. So, a lot of students have been asking me about the eligibility criteria related to the mixed scholarship. What or how much is the fellowship that is awarded, and how is it to live in Japan, and a lot of questions like that. So I was searching for an individual who has already received mixed scholarship and who can guide students regarding this scholarship. What are the parameters according to which the students are judged? What important things that they should keep in mind while applying to the mixed scholarship, and other things also. So I have found out Shreya through my LinkedIn connections, and she got the mixed scholarship and is working in Institute of Science Tokyo. And I've invited her to discuss things related to mixed scholarship so that students can get a clear idea that how they can apply to this. So you would be knowing that Samadhan Life Sciences conducts these kind of podcasts regularly in order to make students more informed and more aware about the opportunities present in life science and biotechnology areas. So, without much ado, let us invite Shreya. So, Shreya, could you please come on board and talk to us?
Hi, Dr. Neelav. Thank you so much for having me here.
Thank you so much, Shreya. I understand that it is extremely difficult to take out time when you are abroad. I really appreciate you, and I'm sure that this particular session would be of great interest to students and would help in their application process. So uh, let us start because I personally have we have talked a lot, but I would want you to tell the students that what is your academic background and where you come from.
Got it. So, I'm Shreya Borthakur and I'm from Assam. So, I did my till my class 10th, 11th, and 12th, and even my bachelor's in life sciences from Assam. So, I was in Tezpur University, but I was in an integrated MSc course in Tezpur University of Life Sciences. But then, after 3 years, which is after completing my bachelor's, I really wanted to move to the national level to check out the scene of what is going on in life sciences at that level. So I applied to a lot of entrance exams, IIT JAM, TIFR, CAT-B, and by God's grace, I got through TIFR and got a quite a nice rank in IIT JAM to be giving interviews in IISC, National Brain Research Center, and some of the ISERs. And finally, NBRC, which is National Brain Research Center, it's an institute in near Gurgaon in Manesar. They took me in, and after that, I did my master's in neuroscience. So I think this entire journey that has been going on, it really taught me how to be disciplined, hardworking, and sincere. I think when these three qualities are present, you don't really need to be the brightest in the room to get something. So that is how my MEX story starts. That, through sincerity, through hard work, MEX, I got mixed, and then now I'm here in Japan. So it has
Now,
always been a
yeah,
curve. Yeah. Hmm.
just one quick question. Most of the students that pursue life sciences in life sciences in India, suppose
Yeah.
you've done your BSc and MSc, let us say from India, they
Yeah.
think of going for a job or they think of applying to a PhD program in India itself. How did you get motivated to pursue your education abroad? And particularly, I would want to talk about Japan because most of the students, even if they think of applying to a abroad country,
Hmm.
they want to go to US, they want to go to Europe. So,
Got it.
how did Japan happen, and why did you think of mixed? Can you just elaborate on that?
Sure. So it's a super nice story because when I was doing my master's and it had just started, and I was working on this disease model that really needed autophagy. We were looking into autophagy, one of the processes, cellular processes, to be implied in some way to our disease model. So I was looking for papers. And then I found some really good papers from some Japanese labs, one or two Japanese labs. And I thought that, wow, they're doing really good work. And then I saw the authors, and I remembered the author from somewhere. It was Osumi Sensei. He has won a Nobel Prize in this
Hmm.
field. So I was like, okay, wait 1 second. He's still working. He's still working in some institute. So I looked up the institute. It's Institute of Science Tokyo.
Yeah.
Previously, it was known as the Tokyo Institute of Technology. Recently changed its name. So I'm like, can we apply here? Can we work under him? So it was really a by chance kind of thing. ठीक है, तो मैं देखी, I checked everything. मैंने देखा कि मतलब is it possible to apply here? And I saw that, yeah, it is. They are taking international students. They have labs still. Yes, Osumi Sensei doesn't work like actively in the labs right now, but he's the grandfather of those labs and the labs that I work in. So I would say that chance and luck really had a big role to play. And then to study in Japan, obviously I come from a family that would support me in whatever I want to do, but I didn't want them to take loans, education loans or anything.
Yeah.
So I was looking for funding. All right, ठीक है. तो funding मैंने देखा कि क्या क्या हो सकता है. There are a lot of options, but one of the best options is MEC scholarship. बहुत अच्छा funding देता है. They cover your flights, they cover your admission, everything is covered. And just one by one things started opening up, and I realized that it might just be a much better place to go to than the US or the Europe, because I was thinking of applying there too. बट मेरा फंडिंग वाला चीज सॉर्ट नहीं हो रहा था कि मतलब खुद से बहुत इन्वेस्टमेंट करना पड़ता है.
तो क्या वहां पे भी आपने अप्लाई किया था? यूरोप और यूएस यूनिवर्सिटीज में भी अप्लाई किया था?
सो अगेन द गुड थिंग अबाउट मिक्स्ड इज कि 18 मंथ्स पहले फ्रॉम कमिंग टू जापान 18 मंथ्स पहले प्रोसेस स्टार्ट हो गया था. ठीक है, तो जब तक आई हैड गॉट MEC स्कॉलरशिप एंड मुझे पता चला कि मुझे मिल जाएगा, अभी कोई टेंशन नहीं है, तब तक only the other applications were just opening. Yeah, right. Europe and US and everything. And I was like, okay, 1 second. I have this destination. I have this funding. I don't need to focus on it anymore. I can focus on my master's ka thesis. अच्छे से thesis करो, and I just wanted to get a paper out of it. And yeah, so matlab, I focused there and didn't have to do anything else. I did apply to 1 or 2 places, UNSW in Sydney, and I think some institute in France, but wahan to application aage bhi nahi padha actually. So,
okay, I got that.
Yeah.
Okay, so how did you come across mixed scholarships? Because what I have heard is, I mean, the OIST is a new emerging college in this, and it provides a very nice fellowship.
Yeah, nice internship.
So, how did you actually come across mixed only?
So one of my friends, really close friends back in the day, he was working in the University of Tokyo as an intern. They have this really nice internship program, which once you are an intern in, later you get to come back as a master's or a doctoral student, and they provide funding. So I was like, kaise kya? And then he's like, no, you know what? You cannot apply right now because internship pehle hi ho jata hai. You are in your master's now. But there's MEC scholarship, apply to that. So it really was a friend to friend kind of thing. I had no idea what MEC scholarship before that. So that's why I have this active thing where active like passion to like kind of spread the message. And I do that on my LinkedIn as much as possible, at least. So that's why I even said yes to your podcast. I really need people to know.
That is through which I came in contact with you. So thank you that you really regularly post on your LinkedIn profile. I would also want to talk about the MEC scholarship in relation to the master's programs. Since you are a PhD applicant over there, I would be talking in both respects. So firstly, since you are a PhD student, then can you walk us through the application process from finding universities and submitting the documents, which website? I mean, applying to a foreign university is a very cumbersome job. So how did you do that? What is the entire process?
Okay. So I would say that MEC scholarship itself is the main process, and uske andar bahut kuch sub heading type ka hota hai that you have to keep doing along the way. So number 1, the main thing is the preliminary form. By the way, the preliminary form is out now. The deadline is May 13, and whoever wants to apply needs to do it right now. So the preliminary form is super important because in our year, we got to know we got to know when the selection list was out. In our year, 1,656, I think, students applied to this preliminary form thing, and only 120 got through.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So I would say that, this is something where a lot of students get cut out. So that's
Mhm.
why this preliminary form needs a lot of information, like your educational details and, other things like job कर रहे हो क्या या फिर awards क्या जीता है, etc. But one very main thing is the research plan. ठीक है?
Okay.
So I would say, obviously, I don't know how the screening process takes place, other than the fact कि eligibility meet करना चाहिए. Other than that fact, आपका research plan बहुत अच्छा होना चाहिए. And I'm not talking about आप किसी को बोलो कि बहुत generally मुझे ये research करना है, नहीं. It needs to, I would tell students that approach it in a way कि you want to write 2 or 3 research papers on this one topic, and you're making the plan to write those research papers. आप इतना detail में बनाओ. Again, there's a fine line. You cannot be too general, right? But you cannot be too specific either, because ये जो research plan होता है, later in the process, it gets stamped and you have to give it to your potential supervisor. कि मतलब आप ये देखो MEX का ये documents है, उसी documents में ना वो research plan होता है. तो अगर आपके potential supervisor ये देखेंगे, and if he or she or they feel like, it's very, very strict, like it's very tight, you're not flexible at all, then that means that they might lose a bit of interest in you कि ये तो बहुत flexible ही नहीं है, मेरा project कहाँ करेगा, ठीक है? So that means that there's a very fine line, general and specific के बीच में, and you need to walk on that fine line when it comes to the research plan. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
तो मुझे ये थोड़ा सा बताइए कि जैसे जब फॉर्म निकल आया है, अभी MEX का फॉर्म आ चुका है, तो स्टूडेंट्स उनकी MEX की जो वेबसाइट है उसके ऊपर जाते हैं, कोई पर्टिकुलर वेबसाइट है उससे रिलेटेड कुछ?
हाँ, एम्बेसी ऑफ जापान इन इंडिया का जो वेबसाइट है, वहाँ पे स्टडी इन जापान बोल के लाइक हेडिंग है, तो you have to go there and you get to go to MEX scholarship. Now, MEX scholarship में बहुत levels होते हैं. There are many different programs, but I applied to research student program. So research student is for masters and doctoral people.
Okay, तो दोनों मास्टर्स वाले भी उसमें आ जाएंगे और डॉक्टरल भी उसमें आ जाएंगे?
हाँ, उसमें ही आ जाएंगे. अंडर ग्रेजुएट के लिए अलग, जापानीज टीचर्स के लिए अलग, बहुत कुछ होता है, बट हम लोगों का रिसर्च स्टूडेंट है.
ठीक है, डन. ओके.
And so undergraduate people and masters people, and even someone who wants to do a double masters, for example, everyone has to apply to this research student wala program. You go there and the form is there. Yeah.
तो वहाँ पे जैसे आपको क्या क्या डॉक्यूमेंट्स, जैसे आपने बताया तो रिसर्च प्लान, आपका प्रपोजल बहुत जरूरी है, तो आपको लेटर ऑफ रिकमेंडेशंस भी लगते होंगे मुझे लगता है.
अभी there are many steps. So first step is कि ये preliminary form भेजे हम, और इस form के साथ सिर्फ एक नेशनल एग्जाम का ये होता है, कॉलम होता है, where you have to fill up national एग्जाम क्या क्या दिया है. I had filled up IIT JAM and TIFR. So IIT JAM and even GATB. So GATB और IIT JAM का स्कोर कार्ड मैंने अटैच करके दिया था with the form, ठीक है, but that's it. At this point, that's it. If you get selected, you have to go give a written test and you have to submit documents. Is document mein there are many documents actually. It's very cumbersome, right? So many people, I have seen my own friends give up at this point of time. So I would say that be persistent. That is the one thing that was super hard, and that was to be persistent while giving this application. Right.
तो प्रिलिमिनरी फॉर्म में सिर्फ और सिर्फ आपके नेशनल लेवल एग्जामिनेशन और आपका रिसर्च प्लान आपको समझाना होगा.
हाँ. And like educational details and all that. वो तो जनरल है. तो ये सेंड करना होता है ईमेल.
उसको वो आप ईमेल से सेंड कर दिया उसने, फिर आपको वो कुछ कितने समय बाद रिस्पॉन्स करते हैं कि वेदर यू हैव बीन सिलेक्टेड और नॉट?
हाँ, सो वेबसाइट में शॉर्टलिस्ट का कैंडिडेट शॉर्टलिस्ट ये होता है, प्लस आपको ईमेल भी आता है. ईमेल मुझे थोड़ा देर से आया था, सो आई वुड सजेस्ट स्टूडेंट्स टू कीप लुकिंग एट द वेबसाइट. या
ओके. उसके बाद फिर नेक्स्ट सेकंड प्रोसेस शुरू होता होगा जहां पे आप.
या नाउ द मेन थिंग आई डिड राइट आफ्टर गेटिंग द न्यूज़ दैट आई गॉट शॉर्टलिस्टेड इज सॉर्ट आउट द डॉक्यूमेंट्स. नाउ आई वुड से कि जापानीज आर सुपर focused on the small specific details, so I would tell everyone to please stick to the rules and complete those details. ठीक है. So that was one hard thing, because for example degree certificate आप दे नहीं सकते हो, right? क्योंकि you're studying still. I was still studying, so I had to give a bona fide certificate कि मैं निकल जाऊंगी by the time आप मुझे MEX दोगे, don't worry. Then आपका पुराने college से, because I had done undergraduate somewhere else, right? So you have to get a thing from there कि मतलब degree certificate नहीं दे सकते हो, but a copy with a stamp and a seal and a sign, right?
Okay.
So all of these things, one of the most important thing is, like you said, recommendation letter. आपके supervisor से recommendation letter चाहिए होगा, but make sure कि जो envelope है वो ऐसे होके मतलब sealed and stamped
Neat.
हो. Yeah. So super important details. Also, they had asked us to put it in a paper envelope and not a plastic envelope. So what I would say is कि when you do these things, no, when you make it easier for them, when they don't have to pursue you too much, I feel like it makes their mind ease up to you कि ठीक है, good student.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. ये सारे डॉक्यूमेंट्स आपको बाय पोस्ट भेजने होते हैं?
So हमारे ईयर में क्या हुआ था, how as far as I remember, I had made a online thing to like send if needed, but what I remember is कि written test मेरा दिल्ली में हुआ था because I was living in Gurgaon. So when you go for the written test, you submit your entire document का envelope to them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Directly at the written test center ही आपको जमा करना पड़ेगा, right?
Yeah.
Okay. ये सेंटर्स जो होते हैं रिटन टेस्ट के वो इंडिया में बहुत जगह होते हैं?
So that part I'm not too sure about, but a lot of people had come to Delhi. So I think maybe North India के लिए Central Delhi होता है, but I'm not sure. I would say कि people contact the embassy and check. Yeah. It was in JNU Delhi. Yeah.
Yes. So now, when you were filling the forms, so did you find any major challenge while you were filling? Let us say primary form when you were filling, or let us say secondary form you were filling. What are the major challenges that you came across, and you would suggest students to be very careful in that?
Okay, so I would say कि अभी जब ये हो रहा था, I went through a lot of Reddit. So Mext has this really nice subreddit and Reddit with the past Mext scholars. मैं भी उसमें हूँ. So you go through that, you check ki what all are the requirements, because what happened was I have seen people in my year and in the next years filling up like why Japan and all. There are questions like that. They fill it up with things like, anime or like culture. So that's not how it works. That is not how it works. I don't think they want to know that, because I mean, a lot of people are anime fans, maybe, sure. But you need to have good reasons for Japan. Like, you could have easily done this research anywhere else, right?
Yes.
Just go there then. Yeah. Why Japan? Like, why specifically Japan?
Yeah.
So you need to have good answers, I feel, for those. But okay, I might be wrong. Obviously, I don't know how the screening process, how the screening person screens the process. I don't know what goes on in their mind. But I would suggest that, have solid reasons for doing your research in Japan, especially. And not about how you would grow as a person. You need to show them how would your research grow, because it's happening in Japan and not in any other countries.
Yes. So one quick question is that in the mixed scholarship, जैसे generally यूरोप में या यूएस में जब ग्रेजुएट प्रोग्राम्स ओपन होते हैं तो यू कैन चूज साइंटिस्ट दैट यू वांट टू वर्क अंडर. यहाँ पर भी मिक्स्ड स्कॉलरशिप में इस तरीके का साइंटिस्ट जिनके अंडर में पोजीशंस एडवर्टाइज्ड है उनका नाम लिख करके आता है और पर्टिकुलरली हम उनको अप्लाई करते हैं या जनरल है?
Okay, so what happens is कि first preliminary form में ही you have a preference table. 3 preference भरने होते हैं. But one thing I would say here is do not try contacting professor before filling in up the preference, because हम लोग के इंडिया में क्या होता है, we contact and then they say yes and then we fill up. So वैसा नहीं होता है यहाँ पे. I think it's to save the professors from getting too much of spam emails, right? So you can fill up whatever you want. तो मैंने जो professors दिए थे in that preference वाला form, in the first form, I'm not working with them right now. कि क्या हुआ कि once you get through the process and you start emailing professors after you pass your interview, you realize that many of your preferences most probably not even taking a PhD student.
Okay.
For some reason or the other, maybe they are retiring in 2 years, right? Or maybe the lab is too full, etc. So now you contact a lot of people, right, that you want to work with, and then you get 1 or 2 yeses or a lot of no's, and then you realize who you want to work with after a series of interviews with them and with their committees, etc. Okay, and then you have your final preference. So your final preference wala document ekdam last mein dena hota hai once you are sure about who you want to work with. So as an advertisement कुछ नहीं होता. Mext can help you by giving you an Excel sheet of like कौन से schools exist करते हैं जापान में, what kind of schools, what kind of universities. But I would say कि दो formulas हैं. One is lab is more important than the institute, I would say. As long as it's in the top 50 institutes of Japan, I think you should be fine, because आपका एक ही problem होगा कि maybe courses are in Japanese and not English. So once you're in the top 10 universities, no, pakka courses will be in English. मतलब a lot of courses will be. Japanese courses also exist, obviously, but there will be courses that exist in English, right?
Yeah.
So once you have that top 10, उसी में से you find your perfect lab. ठीक है? So simple Google search, your area of interest plus labs in Tokyo, labs in Kyoto, labs in Japan, anything, right? And that is how you select the lab, actually. So it's not, there's no advertisement. Yeah.
Okay. एक चीज मैं आपकी बात से समझ पाया कि आपको रैंडम सर्च करना है जापान में कौन कौन से प्रोफेसर्स हैं, किस किस चीज पे काम कर रहे हैं, आपसे अलाइनमेंट किसका है, उसके बाद आप उनसे कांटेक्ट, आप उनके नाम मेंशन कर सकते हैं प्रिलिमिनरी फॉर्म के अंदर. देन यू हैव टू मेल देम कि भाई मैं अप्लाई करना चाहती हूँ, और अगर वो येस करते हैं तो फिर आगे हम लोग बढ़ते हैं. इंडिया में जैसे कि बहुत सारे इंस्टीट्यूट्स को एक पर्टिकुलर स्कोर पे सिलेक्शन लेते हैं, वहां पे ऐसा कुछ भी नहीं है. आप प्रोफेसर को कांटेक्ट करिए, अगर उसने हाँ बोल दिया तो मैक्स स्कॉलरशिप लीजिए, काम करना शुरू करिए. That's it, right?
So there's a little bit here. तो क्या होता है कि you give the written test. So you give your preliminary form. You pass it. You give the written test. It's just English and Japanese. जिनको Japanese नहीं आता, like it was my case, we just fill up the name and do not fill up the answers. हो गया. That is not needed, because my course, I told them that I want to do courses in English, not in Japanese, so I don't need this Japanese written test. An English written test होता है, which is super simple. Previous year questions exists in the net. You just go through them. You give the exam. You're fine, right? Then you give the interview, and once you are selected in the interview, next will give you documents to be sending to your potential professors that you want to contact.
Right.
उस समय से you start contacting, so you have a nice little proof there कि why you're contacting. So you will most probably be getting replies to your email.
I got that.
Otherwise cold email हो जाता है, मतलब वो
cold email में बहुत chances है कि आपको जवाब ही नहीं आए.
Exactly. But with those nice documents that you have, you get a reply, and they either tell you कि we are willing to take you, let's have an interview, or they'll say कि अभी जगह नहीं है, something like that. You will get a reply basically. Yeah.
अच्छा, रिसर्च प्लान या प्रपोजल के अलावा क्या SOP या लेटर ऑफ मोटिवेशन वगैरह भी लिखना पड़ा था आपको?
So that depends on your professor. तो मेरा सबका different होता ही है. तो after the interview, once you pass that is called the first screening of MEXT. ये primary screening of MEXT होता है. Once you pass this part, you have to get a letter of admission from one of the professors that you want to work with, or from the university basically. तो क्या होता है कि once you start contacting them, they will have their own requirements. कि मेरे professor को, the one who I'm working with right now, super nice lab, super nice professor. So he wanted me to have 2 interviews with him, and then 1 interview with a committee meeting. ठीक है, of their department. So that is how my selection happened. Some other professors in some other universities, they just I got 2 letter of admission. So the maximum letter of admission that you can get at that point is 2, not more than that. ठीक है? So that means कि second वाले जो जिन्होंने मुझे दिया था, वो मेरे second preference में थे, तो that's why I didn't go there. But जिन्होंने मुझे दिया था, they just gave me after like a long email exchange. Like they asked me super long questions, I gave super long answers, they were convinced, and they gave me the letter of admission.
तो क्या कभी ऐसा भी हो सकता है कि मुझे MEXT मिल जाए और मुझे गाइड से अप्रूवल ना मिले?
तो पॉइंट इज कि हमें 1.5-2 months मिलता है अराउंड, ठीक है? उसको आप थोड़ा सा स्ट्रेच भी कर सकते हो by asking the MEXT officials to get this thing done, to get a nice supervisor and to get those letter of admissions. आपको एक letter of admission मिलने से only you're done, right? But one point to be noted is try to get it from a public university and not a private university, because मैंने cases देखा है जहाँ पे private university is not really preferred by MEXT. Obviously, right? They're paying your entire thing. Why would they prefer a private university? So I might be wrong. Some people have got into private universities, but yeah, I mean, try to get into a public university to just kind of increase your chance, maybe, right? So क्या होता है कि once you're applying, आपको अगर एकदम ही नहीं मिले in that entire time, तो मतलब कुछ नहीं हो सकता उसका कि MEXT will say कि we will try for you, but like I've never heard of this case. Also, I've never heard of a case कि किसी को नहीं मिलता है. मिल जाता है usually. जितने मेरे बैच में थे, we all were like we were in contact from the written test days. So जो भी interview pass किया, we were in contact, and every one of us got like one or two letters.
Yeah, because the professors also need scholars, right? I
Yeah,
mean, they are also looking for scholars.
Exactly. And you know, they don't have to fund you. You have funding.
Yeah.
You just need to enter a lab, right? So
It's just like
it's all-
CSIR qualified people in India. I mean, they are getting funding.
Sure. Yeah, it's a win-win situation, to be honest. So मिल जाता है. That is not the concern. And once you give your letter of admission, which is around August, you're kind of convinced कि मिल जाएगा max. You can थोड़ा सा relax and focus on other work then. Then you get your results in February, the next February. Yeah.
अभी मुझे थोड़ा सा ये बताइए कि
हाँ.
how does the written test takes place और वहाँ पे क्या पूछा जाता है? How do students prepare for that?
Okay, so written test is basically 1 or 2 papers of English, grammar, just
Science
English.
नहीं पूछते उसमें?
So undergraduates have science and everything. Research students के लिए the interview is where they test you, right?
Okay.
Test you on your science and everything, your subject basically. Written test is just to make sure कि आप qualify करते हो, because आपने बहुत लोग क्या करते हैं IELTS या TOEFL etc. नहीं दे सकते हैं because of lack of time or something like that. That's why this preliminary thing is like in between, to make sure कि आपको enough English आती है कि आप जापान में आके adapt कर सको. Yeah.
Okay. So those people who have the IELTS score, they do not need to give
Oh,
this.
no. They also need to, because this test is for the Japanese education system. So IELTS might be for English education system, right? So yeah.
तो written test इतना tough नहीं होता आपके हिसाब से?
ना, it's super easy. मतलब आपको past question papers official website में ही मिल जाएंगे. I just went through them and I gave it. My IELTS score is 8.5. So for a person who has got IELTS में 8.5, I think उनके लिए तो easy होगा पक्का. And people don't have to worry, because IELTS is speaking and writing and listening everything. This is just writing. So I think even with the IELTS 6, I think you're fine, to be honest. Not too bad. Yeah.
Okay. Now coming to the preparation phase, how did you write a nice research proposal or study plan, or what would you recommend? आपने क्या सीखा? स्टूडेंट्स को आप क्या सजेस्ट करोगे? कैसे लिखें? कितना बड़ा होना चाहिए? क्या लिखना चाहिए? Something like that.
Yeah. So मेरा kind of practice हो गया था जब मैंने TIFR में apply किया था. But मेरा research plan तब जमा नहीं लोगों को. I didn't get through the TIFR वाला interview. So तब से मेरा ये था कि let's learn how to write in a scientific manner. Let's learn how to write research proposals. So at the same time, we were trying to write review papers and all that in our own lab, मतलब अपने masters के lab में. So that's how, by talking to my supervisor and my seniors in the lab, super nice lab in NBRC, also very lucky. So they all like told me, you know, treat it like a research paper that you're gonna write. Have introduction, have conclusion, have all the nuances. कि मतलब maybe timeline add कर दो, या फिर graphical abstract add कर दो. Have a expected outcome. Have a nice methodology, maybe put references. Make sure you do in-text citation. So yeah, it's like a super proper document. Treat it like a proper document. Treat it like a research grant, maybe, you know.
Okay.
But also don't make it too long, because I think MEX बोलता नहीं है usually, but like MEX के documents should not be more than 1 MB, for example. And not just that, I think research plan usually, what even past scholars, when I checked MEX, Reddit, etc., past scholars भी बोलते हैं कि 2 पेज से ज्यादा मत लिखो, like without the references. 2 pages है around 1200 words. But that's something that I stuck to, and it kind of worked out for me. So that's why I recommend that. But I mean, obviously, other things have also worked out for other people. So I wouldn't say it's too strict, right? But obviously, बहुत लंबा होने से it becomes too cumbersome for them also to handle. Yeah.
So how many professors did you contact for this particular mixed scholarship?
Right. So what happened was I contacted around 50 professors. But then what happens with this kind of an approach is कि आधा तो आपके subject field में ही नहीं है, the subject that you want, right? Point is कि इतना नहीं करना होता है. It's okay. I was too anxious actually, you know, anxiety रहता है कि or oh my god, I need to get a letter of admission. But ऐसा नहीं करना होता है. I wouldn't suggest that for people to do. कि मतलब I think you're fine with 15 to 20, ठीक है, in your research field obviously, and तुम्हारे top 5 जो है उसमें से 1 या 2 तो most probably मिल ही जाएंगे, ठीक है. So yeah, should be fine. It's not a Yeah.
And that we have to do after we get the documents from the next, right?
Yes. My case was a little different because इनको मैंने already contact किया था पहले, my supervisor. I had asked him questions about his research paper. It was not related to PhD or anything at all. I genuinely wanted to know some answers to some questions that I had about his research paper, and I was going to apply that to my master's ka thesis ka dissertation, whatever. Yeah. So that was how contact point had already started actually. So unko, when I emailed him back many months later, तो उनके पास वो email already not spam या something में नहीं था. It was in his inbox. So inbox में ऊपर आ गया था. So he saw and he's like, yeah, I mean, yeah, sure, we can have an interview. All right.
Okay.
So we had an interview. Yeah.
Okay. ये सारे डॉक्यूमेंट्स प्रिपेयर करने में कितना समय लगता है? आप क्या सजेस्ट करोगे स्टूडेंट्स कितने पहले से इसके लिए तैयारी करना शुरू करें?
So what happened was कि I wasn't ready. I didn't know कि मुझे मिलेगा preliminary screening I'll pass. The moment I saw my name on the website, I called my mom and I'm like, Mama, you have to go to Tezpur University. I cannot come to Assam right now. So my mom rushed the next day. She rushed because you have to take xeroxes of photocopies of your degree, and you need like a dummy transcript to submit. So all of these things you need to like get it in place, and then you have to have seals and stamps on it. So my mom rushed to get that. My mom rushed to get a recommendation letter from my previous supervisor, right? So ये सब हुआ मतलब. So it was a lot of rushing involved, and I really needed all of those documents. So in case if students do not have that kind of a thing कि जहाँ पे they can produce these documents out of the thin air in like 10 to 15 days maybe, I would suggest कि हाँ रख लो. I mean, it helps you only, no matter where you are applying, not just MEX. MEX का one good thing is कि they need so many documents that you're ready for anything after that. Even if you have applied to MEX, even if you don't get it, you're ready for everything else, basically. You have all the documents in place. So it helps you anyway. So yeah, do get the documents ready beforehand. There's a PDF available in the website which has every detail about everything, all the documents that are required. So I would suggest students to like go through it, get all the documents ready for any, not just MEX actually, for any kind of applications. Yeah.
Just want to revisit the timeline. मैं एक बार समझना चाहूंगा कि 13th मई को डेडलाइन है, खत्म हो जाएगा. उसके कितने समय बाद आपको लगता है कि फर्स्ट स्क्रीनिंग का रिजल्ट आता है लगभग अप्रोक्सीमेटली?
Okay. I had a LinkedIn post on this, I have forgotten. But like जून जुलाई तक आपका मेन प्रोसेस तो खत्म हो जाता है. Like इंटरव्यू का ये खत्म हो जाता है. So इंटरव्यू, रिटन टेस्ट एंड प्रिलिमिनरी एप्लीकेशन डेडलाइन मई से जुलाई तक होता है. This entire process. Yeah. And then August is about finding the
professor.
Yes.
Okay. मतलब it's quite fast. 2 महीने के अंदर आपका सारा काम हो जा रहा है अगर मई से.
because क्या होता है कि रिटन टेस्ट लास्ट ईयर ऐसा हुआ था कि रिटन टेस्ट 1 day, second day ऑफलाइन इंटरव्यू right there.
Oh, wow.
And मेरा ऑनलाइन था इंटरव्यू, so it was 2 days after the written test. So
I'll come to the interview. भाई मैं इंटरव्यू पे आने वाला हूँ. Yeah. तो ये तो हो गया. अब मुझे जानना है, राइट नाउ आई वुड वांट टू आस्क अबाउट कि आपने अपना रिटन टेस्ट आप दे करके आ गए, फिर रिटन टेस्ट में जो स्टूडेंट्स क्वालिफाई होते हैं उनको ही इंटरव्यू के लिए बुलाते हैं. दैट इज द वे.
I have seen this on the website and some other places कि मतलब written test is just a formality कि मतलब everyone scores good because it's super easy, right? Usually people score good, so interview के लिए हो ही जाता है. तो I think it's just like the score of the written test and the score of the interview, I think they put it together at the end.
Okay, I got
is what I think. Yeah, is what happens.
Okay, so then आपने written test दिया, then you got a call for interview कि हाँ भाई आप you've been selected for the interview.
Yes.
तो बहुत सारे लोगों का you said that they call for offline and some of the students are also called for online interviews.
So no. So I'm sorry, that got a bit confusing. Last year when I was I had already got MEX. Last year it was all offline interview.
Okay.
Uske last year when I was giving MEX, it was all online interviews.
Okay, so it changes. I mean, depends upon the year.
I think this year it's online maybe. I think it's written somewhere this year. I think it's online.
Okay. So you get a link. You join that link, and people start asking you. So
Yeah.
can you tell me about your interview experience then? Now?
Wow, I have this huge story to tell you, and I think I don't know if it'll help students or not. I had booked a WeWork booth for my interview. WeWork, right? The company WeWork, they
Yeah.
have many booths, and then I had booked like a booth. So I went inside the booth, I placed my laptop. Oh, please wear formals, by the way. Make sure you
Mhm.
use wear formals and make sure that you're smiling and nice and confident, to be honest, because I think that matters. Yeah. So that was what happened. So I placed my computer. I didn't even have headphones on because I was like very nicely अच्छे से मैं ये interview दूंगी एकदम शांति में. In the middle of the interview, fire alarms blared. And I had no idea I didn't know it was a drill. I didn't know आग लग गई है building में. I don't know क्या हो रहा है. ठीक है? And I was like, oh. And then there were embassy people present and there was a subject matter expert present. And they are like, what happened? And I'm like, I don't know. And then they're like, okay, like calm down. They were like, calming me down. I'm like, it's okay. Then I took the laptop, I ran out of the building. There were like 3 flights of stairs that were never ending. I went to the garden behind the building and I was giving my interview from there and I did not have my headphones.
Wow.
Right? Because everything was upstairs, right? And I'm like, I was so like gaya, aaj gaya, mujhe nahi milega. But then I stuck through actually. Maybe that also has a factor to play. I stuck through. They were asking me questions in the middle of a garden behind a building that was blaring fire alarms. And they were asking, so I was like, do you want to reschedule? And they're like, no, if you're comfortable, we can go on if you're okay. I'm like, yes, please, ask the questions. So I stuck
Research
through.
is all about troubleshooting only. I mean, you
I guess
troubleshooted it
so.
really nicely.
I guess so. And they asked me a ton of questions. I sat there in the garden surrounded by people answering these questions. And so what happened was laptop was here. I was taking it to my ear to listen and like again here. And I'm like, okay, these are the answers. And again here. So it's like that. So firstly, the embassy people were asking, ki matlab why Japan, etc. Very general questions. Education background, what do you want to do in the future, etc. And इस side में subject matter expert was asking me about my thesis that I was working on already and what would I want to do, matlab my potential research project. So all of these questions happened, and then I especially remember I would suggest people to like kind of get ready for that. There was a Japanese official, obviously, from the embassy present in the interview, and sometimes people might have difficulty with their accent. They are speaking in English, obviously, but थोड़ा accent में यहाँ पे भी आके culture shock तो
I understand that.
The accent. So I would suggest people to be ready for that because it was a bit scary for me. I didn't even have my headphones. I wasn't understanding what the official was asking me. So the Japanese embassy official who was Indian, he had to, repeat it to me. Yeah, but I think it got hidden under the fact that anyway, I was in the garden holding the laptop. So it's okay. I mean, it doesn't matter.
Yes.
But for people who are in a normal setting who can hear properly, I would tell them to get used to the accent before the interview. Yeah.
Okay. So you would have given tons of interviews in India as well when you entered into
Yes.
NDRC. How does it? I mean, how is it different? The interview of Next and the interview in India.
I wouldn't say much difference because the subject matter expert is Indian. So, it's a professor. It's a professor from a university who is a life science professor, for example.
Okay.
Yeah, subject matter expert is from India. So not much difference when it comes to research or technical details. And then even NBRC had asked me why neuroscience and why NBRC. So same, why
That
Japan?
is fine,
why, yeah. So I wouldn't say much difference. So that's why I think I was confident that day कि हो सकता है मैं कर सकती हूँ because मैंने बहुत सारे interviews दिए थे masters में आने से पहले ही. So interview I wasn't scared about, and I think that played a very important role in the getting through the entire thing confidently.
तो इंटरव्यू में क्या एक्सपेरिमेंटल डिटेल्स भी पूछते हैं जैसे प्रोटोकॉल्स वगैरह पूछ लिए ऐसा करके
really depends on what you are talking about. You are the one who will be who will pave the way
guiding the interview, right?
Yeah, guiding the interview because you'll be talking about your own research. So I mean, hopefully you'll talk about something that you know. So इसलिए हाँ, experiment details might come up if you're saying something very interesting about your experiment, right? It might not come up because you might be focusing on the hypothesis or the overall. So you really guide your interview. Interview ke liye, I would say ki people, that is also another place where a lot of cutting happens.
Yeah,
Okay, a lot of people don't get it. A lot of my peers or juniors hadn't got it at that point of time. So I would say ki please, like the interview and the preliminary screening with the research plan, super important. And then obviously you have to follow up with all the good documents and everything. You need to be sincere, hardworking, and confident. Just not overconfident. That does not help.
Now coming to how has your experience been up till now living in Japan? So Japanese people I've heard are very hardworking. And,
Yeah.
Tokyo specifically, since you are studying in Tokyo, it's extremely costly, isn't it?
Yeah, so what happened is that we get a stipend of, right now I'm still a research student, so I didn't do a RA-ship or anything before coming to PhD. So I asked my supervisor can I remain a research student for at least 1 or 1.5 years if possible before I convert into a doctoral, so that I get enough experience with Japanese labs and technical details, and I have some preliminary data before starting my PhD, because PhD.
How is an RA different from a PhD position? Is it? You are getting into a PhD, right? PhD program.
Yeah. So my doctoral starts either this October or next April. So I can decide when it needs to start, basically. So what happens is, right now, same lab, same professor, same work. Basically, what happens is ki life science mein sometimes you want to decide yourself ki out of 5 projects that the professor is offering you, which one do you want to do? So मेरे साथ वो हो रहा है right now कि I'm trying to gather preliminary data to decide which one I want to do. So I really love this fact, because instead of throwing me right into the PhD and expecting me to complete everything in 3 years, PhD here are 3 years. So expecting, also you need to publish, right? So this big expectation is there. So I wanted to be ready, and that's why I asked my supervisor that can we please start the PhD from a later on time. So what MEX does is they provide you a gap of 1.5 years. Okay, so in that gap you can be a research student and not a doctoral student or a master student.
तो उस दौरान फेलोशिप आपको देता है MEXT?
देते हैं. So I just get 2,000 yen less than the normal PhD fellowship, which is doesn't matter. Don't worry, because 2,000 yen is just like one grocery run or something. Doesn't matter. Wow. Yeah. So yeah, that is what it is.
So आप कुल मिलाकर के MEXT fellowship कितने समय के लिए मिलती है? 3 years के लिए मिलती है?
So if you're doing a master's and then a PhD, 5 years. If you're doing a PhD alone, 3 years. If you have this gap period in between, research student period in between, then master's or PhD or research student will be 5 plus 1.5. For me, it will be 3 years of PhD plus 1.5, 1.5 or 1 year of research student. Yeah.
तो क्या सबको ये 1.5 का जो gap मिलता है वो नहीं मिलता है?
So depends on you. Depends on the student itself. Okay. Many people came with me, right? All the MEX scholars from India. So many MEX scholar comes from many different countries all together in Japan. So all of us have like classes together. Like we had a Japanese class together because I wanted to learn Japanese. So what happened is many students joined right the moment they came. So unka masters shuru ho gaya tha tabhi. ठीक है? I decided I'll join a little later. PhD, मेरा research student वाला gap चाहिए. Some people wait for that research student gap to collect preliminary data, basically, without having that pressure कि 3 साल में ही या फिर 5 साल में ही complete करना है सब कुछ. Yeah, so ऐसा होता है.
तो अभी तक आपका experience कैसा रहा है Institute of Science Tokyo में?
Really nice. I think your lab, that's why I'd say कि lab choose करो before choosing the institute. No matter what the institute is like, your lab will decide everything. Your supervisor kind of decides what paths.
But I have thought I've listened from most of the people from who are working in Japan that there is a lot of working pressure in different labs. The supervisor puts a lot of pressure on students. Is that true?
No, I mean for me, no. My supervisor is super nice and like मुझे तो like आराम से बोला कि screening period चल रहा है and you can do whatever project you want, you can select. So yeah, I think really depends on. So that's why we have preference इसलिए कि मतलब you're emailing a lot of people, you're getting interviewed by a lot of people. They are not just interviewing you, you are checking them. So मुझे यूनिवर्सिटी ऑफ टोक्यो से भी लेटर ऑफ एडमिशन मिला था, एंड एट दैट पॉइंट यूनिवर्सिटी ऑफ टोक्यो का रैंक इज हायर देन टोक्यो इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ टेक्नोलॉजी. I chose the lab. I did not choose the institute basically.
Okay, so you had a good idea about the professor before applying कि हाँ भाई ये इस तरीके के हैं.
Because there were so many interviews that took place, you kind of get to know the personality and the way of working and what kind of support that they would provide you, because they give you an idea. Because that is why it's always important to ask questions when they say that, do you have any question at the end of the interview session.
Yes, right. So एक चीज मैं आउट ऑफ द कंटेक्स्ट पूछ रहा हूँ यहाँ पे. बहुत सारे स्टूडेंट्स पूछते हैं कि एक अच्छे प्रोफेसर को कैसे ढूंढा जाए. इज इट राइट टू कनेक्ट हिम थ्रू लिंक्डइन, या उनके जो स्टूडेंट्स हैं उनको कनेक्ट करें लिंक्डइन में, उनसे पूछें क्या तरीके अच्छे होते हैं कि आप प्रोफेसर से डायरेक्टली बात किए बिना उनके बारे में ठीक ठाक जान सके कि हाँ भाई ये मेरा आगे का समय इनके साथ कैसे गुजरने वाला.
वैसे तो I made my decision while the interviews were going on. कि मतलब एक ही प्रोफेसर के साथ you have to do around 2 or 3 interviews because committee के साथ बैठना पड़ता है etc. So I saw how he spoke up for me during the committee meeting, right? Now why would someone speak up for someone unless they are super interested in hopefully them, trying to be a part of the lab. So I think you need to be aware. You need to like know कि क्या क्या चल रहा है. Like you need to be super aware of what all is going on, note down everything. So that's what I did. I made a list of pros and cons of both the labs that I had got a letter of admission from. Right. And I felt like I suited more into this lab. Yeah.
Okay, got that. So how welcoming has Japan been for international students?
Super welcoming. Like the point is that culture shock मुझे मिला है, but it has been good in one way कि मतलब I used to live in Gurgaon and there was a safety issue etc. यहाँ पे आके I was super terrified that I'm alone, I'm a girl, it might be unsafe etc. But यहाँ पे आके I've realized कि ना safety here is not an issue like in Delhi or Gurgaon or anything like that. And not just that, even like I mean till now, touch wood. And food etc. has been hard, but then you kind of get adapted etc. And everyone has been welcoming, to be honest, super welcoming. Lab is super nice. So even a lot of people don't know English. They know how to write in English. It's just that they even know how to speak. It's just that forming sentences might be a bit hard for them. थोड़ा सा hard.
Yeah.
So what happens is कि थोड़ा communication में problem तो होता है. But they have been super nice to be including me in whatever way they can. Yeah. So I only have positive things to say, to be honest. It's been a nice time, yeah.
तो आपने जापानीज सीख ली है? मुझे लगता है, मैंने जितना सुना है कि आपको लोकल लोगों से बात करने में जापानीज सीखना बहुत जरूरी है.
So क्या होता है कि once you come here, you ask your professor to tick on the part where they ask you ki, do you need an intensive Japanese course when you start out? So this intensive Japanese course is around 4 months and वहाँ पे आपको इतना जापानीज सिखा देते हैं कि आप normally रह सको जापान में at least. So मतलब उतना जापानीज सीख गई हूँ कि रह सको. Obviously research में if like the PPT is happening in Japanese, that is super hard to know because I mean obviously someone coming from outside Hindi कहाँ पता होगा उनको इतना level में कि research presentation if it's going on in Hindi उनको पता चले.
Understand that, yeah.
That is difficult, but जो basic है ना वो सीख जाते हैं लोग, इतना problem नहीं होता. I also have friends जो कभी intensive Japanese किए नहीं, but overall around से ही सीख लिया है. Like in their daily life they have picked
काम
up.
चलने भर का आ जाता है लोगों को.
काम चलने इतना प्रॉब्लम नहीं होता, चल जाता है.
अच्छा, मुझे एक चीज बताइए कि फाइनेंशियल सपोर्ट मिक्स्ड स्कॉलर्स को, आप पीएचडी कर रही हैं तो कितना फाइनेंशियल सपोर्ट मिलता है, और ये क्या फाइनेंशियल सपोर्ट आपके लिविंग एक्सपेंसेस को, आपके रहने को कवर कर लेता है?
Yes, so मुझे एज अ रिसर्च स्टूडेंट राइट नाउ 146,000 yen मिलता है. And rent is usually around 40k and food is usually around 20k. I don't have to travel, I live super close to lab. So savings बहुत हो जाती है. तो इसीलिए I would say completely enough. And I live in an apartment. It's not like I live in a dorm right now. I live in an apartment of my own. तो I would say कि देखो हर दिन तो बाहर नहीं खा सकते हो. That तो you can't do in India also, to be honest, if you want to save up. So if you cook at home or a nice nice student and like अच्छे से तुम संभाल सकते हो अपने budgeting को, completely fine. I'm completely financially independent from my parents.
आप सेव भी कर पाते होगे, आई बिलीव,
Yeah,
राइट?
सेव भी कर पाती हूँ. I can send gifts home. I can go home whenever I want. अभी तक उतना saving हो गया है. So it's like that. You are saving. You're financially independent. हाँ, at this point, I don't think you might have enough money to go buy a house in India or something. Obviously, वैसा नहीं हो रहा है because PhD is a transient phase. It's not a job, to be honest, at the end of the day anyway. So हाँ, obviously you
बहुत
don't
सारे
get the benefit
स्टूडेंट्स
of job.
बहुत सारे स्टूडेंट्स मुझसे पूछते हैं क्या पार्ट टाइम कोई जॉब वगैरह करने की जरूरत पड़ती है क्या?
So what I do is I do part-time just to satisfy my extra needs like Uber Eats. So we're basically Zomato here. So whenever I want to eat out, I use my part-time money basically. So what I do is it's actually good part-time. I don't have to go anywhere. I do it from my home. I teach English यहाँ पे. So I teach English to working professionals. And there are also jobs that helps you in your own research कि मतलब आपको research करना है एक Japanese company के लिए, and so there are many Japanese companies who wants like Indian people to like do research because they have good reputation of Indians and maths and science etc. तो मैंने वो भी किया है. So it was a really learning curve. आपको पता चलता है कि what kind of research do Japanese companies want, right? So it's like opportunities to like delve into कि यहाँ पे कैसा चलता है, यहाँ का system क्या है. So if you want to stay back one day in Japan, you can because of these छोटे experiences, for example. So so it's like part time, but like work from home and like English पढ़ाना होता है, something like that. It's not bad wala part time, and there are many people who do not do part time. I do it because I have this ki matlab Zomato part time money se matlab and that's different. So that's why I do it, but otherwise तो चल जाता है, even without part time चल जाता है.
ओके, फाइनली हम आते हैं कि आपका जो फाइनल एडवाइस होगा जो अभी इस साल अप्लाई कर रहे हैं, तो आपको क्या लगता है कि व्हाट आर द टॉप मिस्टेक्स दैट स्टूडेंट्स शुड अवॉइड व्हाइल अप्लाइंग टू नेक्स्ट?
Okay, so I would say कि first of all be persistent, because देखो many bright students might miss out on this opportunity just because they do not want to go through the entire process of collecting documents and giving interviews and this and that. It takes 18 months from the day you apply to the day you get results, or sorry, from the day you apply to the day you come to Japan. It is 18 months of consistent like thinking about this entire thing. So being persistent is super important. If you decide to give up at some point just because you feel like it's too long of a process, that's it, you're done. So bright students might miss out on the opportunity just because they were not persistent enough. Instead, someone who is just sincere and like hardworking and just super patient with things, they might get it instead.
Okay.
So yeah, that would be my main advice ki matlab it's not just about the brains, it's also about your brawn.
Just don't give up.
Just don't give up. Yeah.
So what would your final message be to someone who is dreaming of studying in Japan but feels intimidated by the process?
So I would say ki take it one day at a time. When I was writing my research plan, I wasn't thinking about interview में क्या होगा. When I was giving interview, I wasn't thinking कि नहीं मिलने से क्या होगा या फिर वहाँ पे जाके क्या होगा. Please take it one day at a time. सब हो जाएगा. I keep saying that, सब हो जाएगा.
Great. Thank you so much, श्रेया. इतने अच्छे से आपने हर एक चीज समझाई. जब मैंने मैक्स के बारे में सुना था, मैं ढूंढ रहा था कि कोई मुझे बता सके मैक्स के बारे में, तो मैं यही चाहता था कि कोई इतना डिटेल में बता सके, बिकॉज स्टूडेंट्स हैव अ लॉट ऑफ क्वेरीज. मैंने आपसे जितनी भी क्वेश्चंस मेरे दिमाग में आए, मैंने आपसे सारे पूछे. अब आई थिंक आई कैन अप्लाई फॉर लेकिन ठीक है. थैंक यू सो मच ऑन बिहाफ ऑफ ऑल द ऑडियंस ऑफ समाधान लाइफ साइंसेस एंड द एंटायर टीम. इट वाज रियली नाइस टू होस्ट you on this podcast, and I'm sure that this particular session would be of great use to students applying for next this year. Thank you so much.
I hope so. That's okay.